The galaxy was alive with noise, chaos, and the thunder of countless battles. Alien warships clashed in the cold dark space, lasers cutting across distant stars. Entire fleets moved like deadly predators, seeking victory or survival. Amid all this chaos, a strange feeling began to spread, subtle but heavy. Something was coming, something the galaxy had never faced before. Sensors on the alien fleets picked it up first, a sudden disturbance in the void. The readings were unusual, precise, and strong, as if a single ship carried the weight of 100. Alien captains exchanged nervous signals, their screens flashing warnings. "Do you feel it?" one hissed, barely believing what the sensors showed. "No fleet could appear like this." Another replied, voice trembling, "Nothing in our records can explain this." A third admitted, fear creeping in. Then it appeared, emerging from hyperspace, silent and massive, a human warship, unlike anything the galaxy had imagined. Its hull glimmered like steel under starlight, massive engines glowing softly. It moved with a calm authority that silenced every alien fleet in its path. Even the most battle-hardened commanders felt a chill, a sense of dread. The ship did not fire, it did not shout, it only arrived, and yet its presence spoke louder than 1,000 weapons. The galaxy fell silent, as if holding its breath. Even the background chatter of distant battles seemed to fade. Aliens stopped attacking, stopped moving, even stopped thinking clearly. What is that?" An alien captain finally whispered, voice breaking. "Humans," another said, disbelief clear in his tone. "They were supposed to be weak, peaceful, insignificant. But how?" Someone else murmured, shaking. The human ship glided forward, unbothered, unstoppable. Its sensors scanned, its systems alive, but no weapon was drawn yet. The galaxy had forgotten humans, had written them off as simple traders, a race too small, too divided, too ordinary to matter in war. Yet here they were, proving every record wrong, proving that survival could be more powerful than brute strength, proving that silence itself could be terrifying. On the bridge of the human warship, the captain stood quietly, eyes calm, hands resting on the controls. No words were needed, for the ship spoke for him. Every alien fleet, watching, understood this, even if they refused to admit it. The humans had arrived not to negotiate, not to flee, but to change the battlefield forever. And then, just as the tension peaked, the human ship sent its first signal, a deep, commanding pulse that resonated through space. Alien communication networks buzzed and faltered, systems overloaded by the simple strength of intent. The message was clear: humanity had arrived, and the war would never be the same. The galaxy trembled, and in that silence, fear was born. For the first time, every species understood one simple truth: humans were no longer to be ignored, underestimated, or dismissed. They were here, and everything would change. And still, the human ship moved forward, calm, silent, unstoppable. The galaxy had never felt such weight in one single vessel. The battlefield waited, trembling, for the moment humanity decided to speak. Long before the human warship arrived, the galaxy had built a story about humans, a story of weakness, of small minds, of a race too divided to matter. Alien species whispered among themselves, laughing at humanity's attempts to survive. "They cannot fight," they said. "They cannot unite. They are slow, fragile, and unremarkable." The Galaxy Council had written humans off centuries ago, a minor species living on a quiet blue planet. Their history was peaceful, their technology limited. They traded for survival. They learned, but they never fought like real warriors. Alien archives described humans as incapable of shaping wars, and so, the galaxy ignored them, focusing on greater threats, on stronger fleets. The lie of human weakness became a belief, repeated until it was truth in every mind. Yet, humans had always observed, learning quietly, without arrogance. Every alien weapon, every strategy, every weakness was noted and stored. They had studied patience, endurance, and the art of surprise. Their leaders knew that one day, their moment would arrive. That day had finally come, and the galaxy would realize its mistake too late. Back on the battlefield, alien commanders whispered nervously, "How can one ship have such presence? It defies our records," one admitted, shaking. "The humans were supposed to be simple traders, not a threat," another said. Every fleet sensed it. The humans had not only arrived, they were here to rewrite the rules, to overturn every expectation. Inside the human warship, the bridge was calm, organized, and ready. The crew moved like a single mind, every action precise and efficient. They were not loud, they were not aggressive, but their preparation and intelligence radiated like a weapon, stronger than any laser. Alien fleets could feel it, even if they could not understand it. The silence of the ship itself became a signal, a message that humanity was more than records, more than predictions, more than lies. Suddenly, a small alien patrol tried to attack, expecting an easy victory, assuming human weakness. The warship barely moved, just a simple defensive maneuver, and the patrol was gone, destroyed in an instant. The galaxy froze in shock, realizing that every assumption about humans was wrong. The lie the galaxy believed crumbled in a heartbeat. Fear replaced laughter, and respect was born from shock. Even the Council struggled to comprehend the human approach. No fleet had ever combined intelligence, patience, and power like this. It was not just technology, it was strategy, it was survival, it was pride. Humans had used centuries of observation to turn themselves into the perfect weapon. A weapon not built to destroy blindly, but to strike when the moment was right. Every alien realized that underestimating humans had been a fatal mistake. The battlefield remained silent, the aliens unsure how to respond. Their weapons seemed heavy, their strategies useless. All the while, the human warship advanced, calm, unstoppable, and the galaxy began to understand one truth, simple yet terrifying. Humans were not just survivors, they were masters of war, and the lie that the galaxy had believed for centuries was about to be shattered completely. The human warship moved silently, but the galaxy could feel its presence. Every alien fleet froze, unsure of what action to take. No one had ever seen humans act with such control. It was not fear that guided them, but certainty, confidence, and patience. On the bridge of the warship, the human captain stood, calm and unshaken, eyes scanning the battlefield, hands resting lightly on the controls. No words were spoken, yet the entire crew understood the mission. Their unity, discipline, and focus made them stronger than any fleet. The first message from humanity echoed across the battlefield, a simple pulse of energy, strong enough to disrupt alien communications. Its meaning was clear: humans had arrived, and the rules had changed. Alien commanders struggled to interpret it, panic rising in their ranks. "This cannot be happening," one hissed, voice trembling. "They are just a single ship. How can they have this power?" Another said, but the answer was already clear. If they could see beyond fear, a small alien fleet, bold and arrogant, decided to attack first, expecting an easy victory against the so-called weak humans. But the human warship did not panic, did not dodge. It made a single calculated defensive move, precise and deadly. In moments, the attacking fleet was annihilated, ships disintegrating under unseen forces. Alien commanders watched in horror, unable to believe their eyes. What had been underestimated, laughed at, and dismissed, was now unstoppable. The battlefield trembled as the human ship remained calm. Not a single weapon was fired carelessly. Every action was deliberate, every movement a lesson in strategy. The humans were not just fighting, they were teaching, showing the galaxy that true strength was not in numbers, but in intelligence, courage, and unity. Alien fleets began to retreat, confusion spreading among their ranks. No one knew how to counter a force that seemed invisible, yet invincible. Even the largest ships could not touch the human warship. Its presence alone had changed the balance of the battlefield. The galaxy, once deaf, with noise and chaos, now listened in silence, hearing the unspoken truth of human power. The captain finally spoke. A single phrase transmitted across space: "Step aside, or face the consequences." There was no threat, only clarity, command, and certainty. Aliens hesitated, their bravado crumbling, their plans undone. Humanity had spoken, and the galaxy understood. The warship moved forward, calm and unstoppable. Every enemy fleet now aware that humans were not what they seemed. Not traders, not weak, not ordinary. They were masters of war, born from survival, and the galaxy could not ignore them any longer. As the human ship advanced through the trembling battlefield, it became clear to every alien species that the humans had rewritten the rules. No one would ever underestimate them again. The silence before fear had become the voice of authority, and humanity had spoken, loud enough to echo across the galaxy. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the human warship continued its advance. Alien fleets scattered, unsure of how to respond. Their weapons were powerful, their numbers overwhelming. Yet none of it mattered against the calm precision of the human ship. Inside the warship, the captain gave a simple order: activate the main system. The crew moved with perfect coordination, each action seamless. What they were about to unleash was not just a weapon. It was the culmination of centuries of survival, observation, and adaptation. A weapon born not from raw power, but from intelligence and necessity. The humans had always been underestimated. Every alien race believed they were weak, slow, and unprepared. Yet humanity had survived every challenge, learning from every threat, turning weakness into strength. Their weapon was not new technology alone. It was strategy, creativity, and the will to survive, combined into something unstoppable, precise, and deadly. The main system activated with a low hum, almost gentle. Then, in an instant, the battlefield changed. Ships shuddered, systems failed, and the very fabric of space seemed to tremble. Alien commanders struggled to comprehend the force before them. Every plan, every tactic, every assumption was crushed under the weight of human design. The galaxy realized too late that humans had been preparing for this moment all along. The warship moved like a living entity, each action deliberate. Aliens tried to counter, but nothing worked. The humans had predicted every move, adapting instantly, evolving tactics faster than any opponent could follow. It was as if the warship itself was a mind, thinking, learning, surviving. And the galaxy understood that humanity's true weapon was not firepower. It was intelligence honed by centuries of struggle, a survival instinct turned into art, into dominance, into victory. Every alien fleet began to retreat, some surrendering, some destroyed. The battlefield shook. The stars seemed to dim under the sheer presence of human power. Even the bravest commanders felt fear they had never known. The humans had proven a simple truth: survival breeds strength, and strength without arrogance is unstoppable. The captain watched the battlefield calmly. No celebration, no anger, only observation and control. The humans had never sought war for glory, only to protect and endure. But the galaxy did not know that. All they saw was a force that could not be stopped, a ship that turned silence into fear and strategy into power. Alien voices whispered across space, disbelief and awe in every tone. How can one race be so clever? They were supposed to be weak. They are more than we imagined. The realization struck them all at once. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were a symbol of the galaxy's mistake, a reminder that survival and intelligence can surpass any weapon, any fleet, any empire. And as the human warship moved onward, calm and unstoppable, the battlefield trembled under the power of strategy, precision, and human will. The galaxy would never forget this day, the day the weapon born from survival changed the fate of every star system. The humans did not conquer with anger. They conquered with foresight, with patience, with the quiet power of survival itself. The battlefield was silent, the echoes of destruction fading into the void. Alien fleets had either surrendered or fled, their pride shattered. The human warship remained at the center, calm, silent, and unbroken. It had not fired recklessly. It had not sought glory. It had simply shown what humanity could do when pushed to its limits. The captain looked across the battlefield. No celebration, no triumph in his eyes, only resolve. He knew that victory was not in domination. It was in survival, in preserving life, and in teaching the galaxy a lesson it had forgotten. Every crew member moved with quiet discipline, repairing systems, monitoring the remaining fleets. The humans were ready, but they did not seek to destroy more than necessary. The alien council sent emissaries, trembling and unsure. They had feared humans as weak. They had underestimated them. And now, they came not with weapons, but with respect. They acknowledged the strength, intelligence, and endurance of the human race. The humans, they are unlike anything we imagined, one admitted, voice shaking. They did not seek conquest, only to survive and to end the chaos. Another added. The council understood at last that humans had rewritten the rules of war, and in doing so, had reminded the galaxy of a truth long ignored. Underestimation is dangerous. The humans extended a hand, offering peace and guidance. Not control, not domination, but understanding. It was a gesture that stunned the galaxy, for a species so feared could also show restraint. The humans had conquered not through fear, but through intelligence, strategy, and moral strength. Every alien fleet that survived took note. Every species would remember this day. The captain spoke once, a message broadcast to all star systems. Humanity does not come to conquer. Humanity comes to survive, to learn, and to end the wars others cannot. Those words echoed across the galaxy. Clear and firm, aliens listened, realizing that humans had changed the balance forever. The name of humanity was no longer small, weak, or insignificant. It was a name to be remembered, a symbol of resilience and power across the stars. Stories of the battle spread quickly. The day the human warship arrived became a legend. Galaxies whispered of the calm ship that moved through chaos, of the crew that acted as one mind, of the captain whose patience and foresight became a weapon, and of a species once underestimated, now honored and feared. The humans did not boast. They did not celebrate. They continued to move forward, ready for whatever came next. For them, the galaxy was not a prize, but a challenge, one that they would face with courage, intelligence, and unity. And the galaxy, trembling and awed, finally understood that humanity had not only survived, it had become a force that would be remembered forever. And so, the day the galaxy remembered humanity was written into history, a day of silence that spoke louder than any war cry, a day when the underestimated became the most respected, a day when survival, intelligence, and morality became the true weapons of the universe. The humans had arrived, and the galaxy would never forget their name.